Good evening, viewers, and thanks for joining us once again. Just a bit of shameless plug before we proceed with today's video. Some of our merchandise we've got for sale at the moment. We've got our t-shirts here with our Mid-Coast logo on the front there, and on the back we've got our logo with Drift Drag and Pro Street Specialists. We've got some hats here. We've got our normal peak and your flat peak hats. Naturally all genuine, like the parts we use, all genuine flex fit caps. Got our logo on the front there, on the back Pro Street Specialists on the back there. Once again, very good hats, very good quality. Got some stubby holders, free stubby holder with everybody that makes a purchase of our merchandise, so keep that in mind. Got stubby holders there. Got our hoodies once again with our logo on the front. We've got zip ups. And we've also got just your kangaroo pocket style blank hoodie on the front there. Got our logo naturally on the just some cleaning instructions. Got our logo on the front there. Once again, zip up hoodie, one of my favourites. And once again on the back we got our Mid-Coast logo, and once again Drift Drag and Pro Street Specialists. So there we go. Alrighty, so if you'd like to order some merchandise, I'll put a link in the comments down below to our Facebook page. If you can't get in contact with us, just leave a comment in the comments down below and I'll try and get back to you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Really stoked with how it's all going, and yeah, just let the channel progress a bit more. So once again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to get hold of some of our merchandise, just get in contact with us and we can send it to you Australia wide. Alrighty, let's get on with today's video. Okay, so I've gone ahead and removed the rear end out of the Centura, out of the red turbo Centura. Do a ratio change on it. So we've got all the rear end out of that. Please excuse me, my back is giving me some grief at the moment. So yeah, we've got all the rear end out of this, all the trailing arms, etc. King springs that we've lowered springs that we've had in there for years. Now I was actually going to be doing not only a ratio change, but I actually bought new bushes and everything for the rear end as well. I have had done in this car, I have had done all of the front bushes and everything, and all the front end had been redone. Tie rod ends, bushes, etc. All gone over. And also the rear springs and front springs as well, new shocks all round. So basically speaking, all the suspension all done. But at the time that I had all this done, I was led to believe that they didn't actually do the rear end at all. Turns out that it looks as if they may have actually done all the rear end, because these are actually all the numbers on these bushes. The upper trailing arms, lower trailing arms, etc., and the bushes in the diff all match the numbers that are here. So these are actually the part numbers that you require for the Super Pro. So yeah, so it actually has got all of these in here. Now, granted, this was all done probably well over 15 years ago. From memory, well over 15 years ago. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and remove all of these again and put the new ones in there just for peace of mind, and match them all up to current ones, because I had to actually wait for probably a couple of months for these, because they had to actually make the ones for the actual diff itself. So I know that these are all a fresh batch as such. So I think I will go ahead once I've done the ratio change and remove them all, paint everything again, paint the diff again. Don't know what I'm going to be doing with the backing plate just yet, it's a bit undecided. But yeah, once again, replace everything. This diff has actually got Eaton Harrop True Track in it. These are the axles here, 31 spline Moses. I've had them since I reckon we got them back in when we did an order back in 2008, I reckon it was. So I reckon these were done well before then. So these are done, I reckon, back in 2005 plus. Okay, so enough waffling. What I'll do next is I'll get the backing plate off of this, drain all the oil, and cruise along with it. And once again, we're just going with these are a set of 323 late model gears. We're taking the 345s out of here, and because I believe it would gear out over the quarter mile, etc. And I might want to go up and do a bit of roll racing as well, and I think it will gear out well before the end of the track, etc. So we've got a set of nice 323s here. I've glassed these are a second-hand gear set. I've glass bead blasted them and dressed them, etc. They've just got some gear oil, some chain lube on there at the moment, some spray grease, just to give them a bit of coating to look after them for the time being until we install them. So we'll give them a wash off before we put them in the diff and get it all set up. Alrighty, enough waffling, and let's hook into it. Okay, so I got the backing plate off, drained all the oil, and I have to say I'm really happy with the oil, how clean it was when it came out. No silver matter in there at all, no silver sort of frosting or anything on the oil or anything, which you sort of get from the bearings, etc., when they sort of start to wear or whatever. And I mean, I have to say, whenever I drive this car, I do give it a pretty hard time. So the diff does get a bit of a hard time too, and they are 345s, but everything is actually mint. Gears look mint still. Like I said, no metal has come out of anywhere, which is always a good thing. But sometimes, when you do drain oil, you do naturally just get a little bit of silver matter or silver frost in the oil as such. But not a thing of not any metal matter in there at all. So once again, very happy with that. So yeah, just thought I'd share that one with you just before I remove the true track. Okay, and so fast forwarding about a month or so, I've just been doing this sort of in and out and in between sort of jobs and weekends and so forth. Please excuse me, it is raining also at the moment. But yeah, we've got our diff all built, got our 323s in there, come up very nice, patterns textbook naturally. Got a new solid spacer in there, new pinion bearings, etc. So that's all pretty much all ready to go. I just got to glue the backing plate on there, and we're ready to go with that one. And we've got all of our lower and upper control arms all cleaned out and all ready to go, all painted, as you can see, and cleaned. Once again, here's the Super Pro numbers, really good also because these are all dated, so how long they've been on the shelf for and when they were also manufactured. So that's also a good thing in my opinion. So that's all the numbers for your lower and upper control arms, and also this is another diff, but the bushes also that go into the diff here, or well, on this diff, on our Centura diff, they go into here. So yeah, as you can see, we've cleaned all them out as well. Alrighty, so now next what I'll do is I'll get the backing plate all glued on there. Once again, like I was saying, that's all come up really nice. Got our Eaton Harrop True Track in there, genuine naturally, and also got our 31 spline axles over here, all ready to go as well. So I'll just give them a wipe over, because that's all they need, is just a wipe over. They've been sitting under the bench there. So I've got all that ready to go and get it into the car. Another thing I've been working on is a trans cooler, to making up a trans cooler with a fan, and so the trans cooler mounts on an angle up underneath the back of the car under there. So that's something else that I'm working on for the car as well, as a bit of a side project to remote the trans cooler too. Alrighty, so once again, I'll get that backing plate, or get some good diff soup in there, some Penrite 85 140 in there, mineral based only. Get that in there, and get that backing plate glued on there. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, once again, please excuse me, it is raining outside still. But yeah, as you can see, a few more hours this afternoon, and just ticking some little jobs off as we go. Got all our bushes and everything all pressed in here. Really happy with all that, how they've come up. Got our bushes once again all pressed in here as well, or pushed into the diff housing as well. These ones just basically push fit in here. They're a two-piece, and then you just slide the steel sleeve in there as well, so they're really quite easy to install if you need to do them. We've got the backing plate cover on there at the moment as well. Was going to put a TA backing plate on there, but long story short, I just haven't got around to modifying the panhard bar etc for it as yet. So just a future job, something else that I'll look into doing as a bit later on. Once the car's all up and running again. So yeah, once again, got a backing plate, all glued on there. Got about 1 litre of oil in the moment, so just a little reminder there to top it up once it's in the car, etc. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So I reckon that'll just about do it for today, and I think I'll get back into it tomorrow. And get the diff back into the car. Okay, fast forward once again. Sorry for not filming a lot of this. I just want to get it knocked on the head and just get it done, as I'm just doing it in my spare time in between doing other things as well. Yeah, as you can see, we've got the diff housing back in the car. I have actually, and please excuse me too, I'm doing this underneath the car, laying on my side. I plasti wrapped the diff and everything so that it doesn't get all scratched up, and I even put some little rags etc on the ends here, so I could just shimmy the diff in here on a trolley jack, connect it all up. So I've got it all connected up, so now all I need to do is just tighten everything off, put the brake lines etc back on, and put my axles etc back in. I have actually pre-filled the diff, which makes it a little bit easier. So now, I mean, you know, I'm lucky and fortunate I haven't got a gas tank underneath here, or a fuel tank. I've run this on gas, as people know, LPG, so which will be changing, mind you, in the not too distant future. We'll be going back to fuel. So I have actually pre-filled this just to make it a little bit easier later on. So I'll just remove the plug once I take the plastic wrap off when I've finished everything else, and just double check the fluid level, which I believe will probably be pretty much spot on anyway, as the way that I filled it on the bench. So yeah, so that's that one. I'll just go ahead and tighten everything off, and we'll come back to it all. Alrighty, so we've got everything back in the car. No more spare bits and pieces left over, or nothing else left over to bolt onto the car, so we've done well. All the old bushes there, I am glad I changed them all after all, because I've really got no idea of how long they've been in the car. I reckon probably over 20 years, so probably a good thing to have done them. Once again, we've got our 31 spline Moser axles in there, King springs, and yeah, really happy with how it's all come up underneath the just excuse me while I get down on the floor. But yeah, pretty happy with how it's all come up. Got our panhard bar back on there, and the sway bar back on there. So yeah, so it's all looking really good. I'll just double check the oil levels once again there. Yeah, that's all pretty much, all my bolts etc are all tightened off. Gone over them a couple of times, make sure everything's okay there. So yeah, so what I reckon we'll do next is get it back on its feet, or back on its wheels, and go and take it for a bit of a test drive. Alrighty, so we've done the ratio change on the Centura. I can already tell it's made it well with just driving along at speed sort of thing. It's the engine speed is a lot less, so it's not revving out as much as such. So but you know, it's still got plenty of get up and go. So yeah, still pretty happy with that. You got to remember, this engine is box stock standard. It's only got bolt-ons. The only yeah, so you know, this engine's only got bolt-ons as such. the whole engine's bog stock standard. Hypertechnic pistons, shot peen balanced the bottom end naturally. It's got a boost reference cam, and a double row timing chain. That's about it. No headwork, stock standard valves, 265 head. Nothing special about it at all, apart from, once again, the bolt-ons that are on it. So yeah, pretty happy with how it's just cruising along at the moment. Yeah, I'll sort of go out onto the 100k zone, I reckon, and just go for a little bit of a drive. But yeah, pretty happy so far. Everything seems to be going quite smoothly. So. This zone here, believe it or not, is actually a stupid sat nav. They never work anyway. This is actually an 80k zone, so I'm not going to go too berserk, but just a little bit. And that's only just boosting up. I'm seriously just easing my foot into that. Barely giving it any beans at all, you know. It's the beauty of boost. Comes in very handy. Alrighty, so cruising on around about 100 k's an hour, 100 k's an hour, and at cruise I mean, we're going up a little bit of incline now, but it's cruising along at around about 2500, which is yeah, really ideal for this, which is exactly what I wanted. As before, when I was cruising on about 100, it was sitting about 3200 RPM. I'll put some taller tyres on the back again. I'm going to put some Mickey Thompsons all around on this car, a bit of a change of direction with it again. Yeah, we'll just once again, like I said, I'm really happy with how it's actually, how much the RPM has dropped. So yeah, as you can see, like you know, it's got a fairly healthy converter in it that does really flare up under the torque of this engine. But yeah, once again, we don't, you know, I don't really rev this thing over 5,500 RPM, which some people say is a bit silly, considering. You know, realistically, at the end of the day, I didn't build it to rev. I built the turbo to work, and it to work under the under load, under boost, and use the torque of the engine as such. So you know, yeah, once again, this is a 100k an hour stretch along here, and we're not even doing that. So I'll just give it a little bit of a boost up, and yeah, I'll just change lanes. And once again, I'm only just boosting it. I'm only seeing you know, 5 to 8 pound boost, which is really not a lot when considering one of the old combos we ran with a standard engine well over 14 all day long. So yeah, it was not a problem. I'll just let this traffic sort of taxi off again. Once again, I'm not going to go doing any skids or any wheelies or any getting sideways and shit, because there's too many people out with cameras and stuff. But I'll just give it a little bit of a boost. Once again, this is a 100k an hour road, and we haven't
haven't really gone over 100 k's an hour at all. So really happy with how it's actually just cruising along. You know, able to keep up with traffic, not having to hold up traffic as well, and yeah, to be able to cruise out in the open road and really not have the engine working hard, it's yeah, it's a good thing to be for sure.
Alrighty, so conclusion, ratio change from 345s to 323s. Yeah, a success. Really happy with how it has turned out. Please excuse me, I am on the side of the road. There is traffic going by. But yeah, it has reduced the engine RPM at around 100 k's an hour, which is exactly what I wanted, because I want to start driving this thing. You know, what is that, about 300 work out to 320k round trip over to my holiday place over at Port Clinton. So that's what I want to start doing, is driving this car long distances, etc. So yeah, once again, very happy with the ratio change, exactly the results I was looking for. So I reckon that'll sort of do us for this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. No, it's not a massive amount, but you know, we're getting up there in a couple of hundreds now, so you know, it's not a lot compared to a lot of other people. But if you keep subscribing when you're watching the videos, we'll get up there, you know. So yeah, once again, to those who have subscribed, really appreciate it. Plenty of merch for sale as well, so I'll put a link to that down below again. But yeah, until I'm looking at you all next, stay safe. Mid Coast Diff Shop.